Hello there, I'm Matteo, the Chief Mobile Opinionist here at the Tech Travel Geeks. And this is the Tech Travel Geeks setup experience video for the Nokia 2.4 Android One smartphone. If you don't already, please do subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks here on YouTube. Right then, so we previously published our video for the unboxing of the Nokia 2.4. And this is our setup video where we'll go through the setup. As we saw in the unboxing video, on the left-hand side of the device when you're facing the screen, we have the SIM tray. And I'm going to open that up with the SIM ejector tool that's included in the packaging. And you'll see that this is a slightly longer SIM tray because it takes not only a memory card for expanding your storage, but it also takes two separate SIM cards. So you're not stuck with the option of just memory card and SIM card, but you can have two SIM cards as well as expand your storage. So I'm going to slide the tray in with my SanDisk 64GB memory card. It fits flush to the side of the device. And that's very straightforward. Now, the model we got of the Nokia 2.4 in this case has 2 GB of RAM and 32 GB of storage. So I've put in a 3 SIM card, and as you turn the screen on, that lovely big 6.5-inch screen, you see the Android One logo pop up. Android One is an Android distribution built very closely with Google, which promises more frequent software and security updates for the operating system. Though that doesn't always happen. If I look at my Nokia 2.2, which is now just over a year old, it's now 3 months behind in terms of security updates. Now then, we've heard the Nokia jingle. We're now at the welcome screen where I'm going to select English United Kingdom. And I'm going to connect to Wi-Fi here. So I'm now connected to BT Wi-Fi, and more importantly, the experience of typing was pretty good. Haptic feedback wasn't as mushy as other devices in this price range. It is not perfect, but it's a lot better than other devices that we've reviewed or unboxed and provided first impressions of on the Tech Travel Geeks. So for a £99 or £100 smartphone, the experience of the ergonomics, how it feels in the hand, it's very solid. It's not hollow like other devices in this price range. And the typing experience is very good. So I'd say very good positive first experience whilst going through that. Now I'm going to set this up as a new device. I'm not going to copy any apps. You do have the option to do that if you wish to. So you can copy your previous setup from another smartphone if you'd like to. Now I'm going to sign into my Google account. And so I'm signing in and I agree to Google's terms and conditions. Now it's gone to just a sec. Now I'm going to back up to Google Drive, use location, allow scanning of Wi-Fi for positioning, and updates and apps. I accept all that. We trust Google. And this is the new search provider splash screen. Interestingly, this is one of the more recent devices, and you'll notice that there is no option for DuckDuckGo any longer, but Microsoft Bing is there. Now, I wouldn't say an apologist for Microsoft Bing, but it is an option, and in this case, I'm going to choose that. So now we get to select the option to set up that fingerprint scanner on the back of the Nokia 2.4. Now, this is a relatively safe way of setting up your smartphone, but before we do that, we need to set up a screen lock. Okay then, and now we have some pretty clear instructions to touch the sensor on the back of the smartphone, and every time I do that, I feel vibration, some feedback from the device to confirm that I am touching the fingerprint scanner. It is tactile. You can feel there's a lip in between the back of the phone and that fingerprint scanner, which is very good in terms of accessibility. You can also set up face unlock, which I'm going to do now. So I'm going to have to face down a bit, but I'll just need to enter my PIN number. So at the moment you can see my camera. That's not really very good. Oh, okay. So apparently you can unlock this phone using my camera as a picture. I'm going to have to disable that because that's obviously not great in terms of security. Point your selfie camera of your smartphone at an upside down Sony ZV-1 or ZV-1 and you'll get the phone unlocked. Right, let's go back to the setup and see what the assistant is like. So I'm going to get daily weather. I'd find that useful. Send me a joke. Those two things seem interesting. There's also options for the news, also known as doom scrolling nowadays, and a quote every day. Right then, so the Nokia 2.4 has an assistant button, a dedicated button for the Google Assistant on the left-hand side of the device. So that's an easy way to access the Google Assistant. Now, I already have voice match set up with my devices from the Big G, both my home smart speakers as well as my smartphones and tablets. So this should already be in place. There's no need to go through the 3 times saying "Hey G." And that's Assistant set up. As a previous Google user, that was very, very easy. Now, Google Pay is being prompted as a way to pay in shops. One very important thing to bear in mind is that the Nokia 2.4 does not have NFC. So whilst you'll be able to use Google Pay for paying for in-app purchases, for transactions on web very easily, this is something that you won't be able to use the Nokia 2.4 for the traditional Google Pay tap to pay in shops. Now you have an option to add other fingerprints. I'll do that again just to show you. So in this case I'm going to use my middle finger, and it is working quite well. I'm getting some haptic feedback from putting my finger on the fingerprint scanner. And there we go. So I now have 2 fingerprints set up with the fingerprint scanner on the Nokia 2.4. Let's go. So that's the setup, really set up very, very quickly. Now, first impressions, now that we have a full screen with some clear visuals, is that the screen is lovely. Value for money in the £100 price range, you're getting a 720 screen. So it's an HD plus display, and this is a really, really nice one. Brightness is decent. I haven't changed any settings. This is the first time we'll do it. Let's crank brightness up so that you can see what it's like. And that is very, very bright. There is a bit of a chin at the bottom of the device. You see that there is the Nokia logo at the bottom. I suppose that's very important to Nokia to remind people they exist. But there's also a technical reason for that. This is an LCD display, which means that they need somewhere to connect the screen ribbon to the board underneath. But first impressions, really nice screen. I'm going to turn the brightness down to help with camera focus, but it is very, very bright in its standard mode. And as you can see, this is my Google News feed. It's a very Google-like launcher. This is the Android One launcher, and it is very similar to the Pixel experience. So if you swipe to the left, so right swipe, you get the news here, and you see that it's scrolling quite smoothly despite so much going on in the background. So this is an octa-core chipset, which is a first for the Nokia 2 series. It is in this case, a MediaTek Helio P series 12 nanometer chipset. It's pretty good. We've seen this before in multiple devices, and value for money, it offers a lot in that price range. I'm quite happy to see Nokia upgrade the 2 series from a quad-core, very basic Qualcomm chipset to this octa-core MediaTek chipset. It's definitely better performance. And you can see that at the moment we're downloading extra files and updating applications. I'm also going to format the memory card that came with the device, and I'm going to treat it as portable storage. So that's that done. Very simple for setting up the memory card. Now you'll see that there's an app drawer. There are no pre-installed apps here, apart from the basic Google ones that you would expect with Android One. Very interesting to see, no Google Play Music. That's now rests in peace. It was terminated at the end of September this year, 2020. And we have YouTube Music in its place. Podcasts is its own thing in the background here. And because I selected Bing as the default search, Bing was installed on the phone. Apart from that, it's all the basics. So the Google Photos app, which also acts as a gallery app. There's an FM radio because the Nokia 2.4 has an FM radio. You need to be using that Courage port or that 3.5mm audio jack with headphones. The headphones then act as the antenna, but you can listen to FM radio without having to stream data from mobile. You have all the other basic Google apps. And I would say it is very, very smooth. It's surprisingly smooth for a device under £100 during the setup while stuff is happening in the background. Okay then, so let's see how our Google Play apps updates and installations are going. So there's quite a few apps to update as the device comes out of the box. I'm going to stop them all. Sometimes they do get stuck because there's other stuff going on in the background, but I'm going to say update all. Now the device we purchased online for Tech Travel Geeks is the 2GB of RAM, 32GB storage model. There is another version of the Nokia 2.4 which has 3GB of RAM, but I'm assuming that's going to be more expensive if you do find that stock keeping unit in your market where you're looking to purchase a Nokia 2.4. Now, whilst things carry on installing in the background, let's have a look at some other details here. So I'm going to look at the settings, and as you can see, it's the standard Google-like settings menu. Let's see if there are any system updates. So there is already an installation of a security patch for September available for the Nokia 2.4. And I'm assuming there will be another one later for October. We are now at the end of October 2020 as we film and soon publish this video. But as I said at the beginning, Nokia's promises on updates and security patches for their Android One devices are not everything they're pent up to be. I have seen this firsthand with a series of devices from Nokia, and most blatantly the Nokia 2.2, the predecessor, a couple of generations ahead of the Nokia 2.4, is stuck on the July security update at the end of October 2020. So bear that in mind. On paper, yes, Nokia have good track record, or they declare they have a good track record with updates, but that's not necessarily the case. It depends on the market you're in and which network provider you're using. So overall, I would say very straightforward experience. It is just the same as on Pixel and any other Android One device. There are a few cool features such as dark mode, which you get with Android 10, which is what comes pre-installed on the Nokia 2.4. For example, dark theme, we can enable that. And you have a dark theme on the device. It should use slightly less power, but is also less stressful on your eyes if you have dark mode enabled. And you'll see that all the controls are set up for that. So we get notification shades, the quick settings, all in dark mode. But for now, for the purpose of this video, we'll switch that back by going into there. So overall, I would say I'm really impressed for the price. It's important to bear in mind the price range. This is under £100 in the UK. You're getting a hell of a lot of smartphone. It's great value for money, and my first impression is extremely positive. The build quality is very, very solid. There's very little hollowness. Now, there are some trade-offs in that space. This is the first Nokia 2 device for a few generations, which does not have a removable battery. The Nokia 2.2 and then the Nokia 2.3 had that feature. So please bear that in mind. This has a significantly bigger screen compared to the Nokia 2.2, but what we'll do is do a complete video doing a side-by-side comparison between the 2.4 and the 2.2 at a later date. For now, I think that's enough for a quick walkthrough of the setup experience and a quick look at how the user experience is on the Nokia 2.4. If you have any questions or would like to know more, please do ask us in the comments below this video. If you would like to see more content, not only about the Nokia 2.4, but other smartphones and gadgets which we believe make the work from home or travel experience better, please do subscribe to the Tech Travel Geeks here on YouTube. But for now, thanks for watching this quick walkthrough of the setup experience for the Nokia 2.4. Goodbye from us.